Right. So, did you look at NCERT book, 11th
Yes, sir.
grade? So, have you tried a little bit of the derivative stuff?
Yeah, sir. I tried
Hmm.
one two-thirds of the limits and some of the examples in the derivatives.
Are you understanding what is happening?
Yes, sir. But there are a few contradicting statements in the theory of limits.
Like what?
Sir, on page 14, it says that we cancelled x minus 1 because x was not equals to 1. But then on page 16, it says that we cancel the common factors which are making the limit in the form of 0 by 0. So if the common
Mhm.
factor is not giving the output 0, then why are we cancelling it?
No. So, send me a picture of the questions. On
Wait, sir.
WhatsApp, you can send the pictures of whatever questions are doubtful for you.
Yes, sir. Just give me a minute.
Hmm. But this is not the thing that I want. I want the question itself. जो question है वो दिखाओ. ये तो ठीक है, ये तो statement है.
ओके सर, भेज रहा हूँ एक से.
Hmm. Okay. So limit x tends to 2. You have x cube minus 2x square divided by x square minus 5x plus 6. Right. और कोई
यस.
क्वेश्चन है जिसमें प्रॉब्लम है?
नहीं, और कोई क्वेश्चन में प्रॉब्लम नहीं था. इस दो थ्योरी वाले स्टेटमेंट में ही प्रॉब्लम था. दोनों कॉन्ट्राडिक्टिंग है.
कॉन्ट्राडिक्टिंग नहीं है. यहाँ पे एक्स स्क्वायर कॉमन लोगे तो क्या आएगा? एक्स एक्स माइनस 2. और यहाँ पे आएगा x minus 2, x minus 3.
यस सर.
Right. So the thing is, these factors are same, no?
यस सर.
So we can cancel the factors, no, in any expression.
या.
When you say limit x tends to 2, the x value is not actually equal to 2. It is close to 2, but not equal to 2. Do you understand what that means? When we say limiting process, when you say limit x tends to 2, it is becoming 1.999, but not exactly 2. If it had actually become equal to 2, then you would have a 0 in the denominator, right?
यस सर.
If you have a 0 in the denominator, the whole expression doesn't make sense. It is in 0 by 0 form, right?
या.
So 0 by 0 is not a form that makes any sense. You cannot divide by 0, right?
यस
But,
सर.
but right now, what is actually happening? This expression is like x is like maybe very close to 2, but not exactly 2. So that means the expression is not 0, no, anywhere.
यस सर.
If it is not 0, then it's a normal factor. You can easily cancel it. The problem would have been if there was a 0, if it was actually 0. it is coming close to 0, but not actually 0, right?
Yes, sir.
So therefore you cancel the factor, and once you cancel the factor, you have x squared by x minus 3 iska limit as x tends to 2, right?
4.
So then that is over because it is minus 4. Because you can put 2 here, you'll get 2 minus 3 minus 1 here, right?
अच्छा हाँ, -4.
So the fact that we can cancel factors, we can cancel only because the factors are not becoming 0. If
Okay,
the
sir.
factors were exactly 0, then you can't do anything. It is in the 0 by 0 form, right?
Yes, sir.
Which doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
the limit process doesn't make it equal to 2, it makes it close to 2. What we want to find out is this expression, when x becomes close to 2, what does this expression become close to, right?
Yes, sir.
We are saying that this expression becomes close to minus 4 when x comes close to 2. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
और क्या डाउट्स है बताओ?
सर बस यही था, ये स्टेटमेंट अजीब लग रहा।
हाँ, और भी कुछ क्वेश्चंस में या डेरिवेटिव्स में या किसी भी सेक्शन में डेरिवेटिव्स में कुछ डाउट है?
नो सर.
Did you see, is there an explanation for derivatives in terms of limits in NCERT?
यस सर, fx plus h minus fx by h.
Is equal to f dash x or dy by dx, ये दिया हुआ है ना उसमें?
यस सर.
ये समझ में आ रहा है ना तुमको?
यस सर.
Have you tried, have you learned the rules of differentiation?
या.
So what rules have you seen so far?
dy by dx for sin x is cos x, dy by dx for
No,
cos
that
x
is,
is.
1 second, that is not a rule. Those are table of standard derivatives. Standard functions
ओ,
का derivatives तुम अभी बता रहे हो मुझे, right?
ओ arithmetic rules for derivatives.
I am saying rules for differentiation, like the first rule is differentiation of a constant is 0. The second rule is differentiation of product of functions, yeah, sum of functions, right, is equal to the individual functions का derivatives plus or minus, right?
यस सर.
ऐसे वाले rules पता है ना ये क्या rules की बात कर रहा हूँ?
यस सर, और फिर एक कोशेंट रूल होता है जिसमें डिनोमिनेटर का स्क्वायर, और
पहले
फिर
प्रोडक्ट रूल क्या है?
एक इंडिविजुअल फंक्शन को डिफरेंशिएट करेंगे और बाकी को नेक्स्ट एक्सप्रेशन में.
So you differentiate f, keep g as it is, then you differentiate g and keep f as it is, right? Two parts will come. One part will be where you differentiate one of them and keep the other untouched. And the
या.
second part will be when you differentiate the other one and keep the first one untouched, right?
यस सर.
There are ways to prove all of these rules. The first question here should be, why? ऐसा क्यों है, right? ऐसा भी तो हो सकता था कि derivative of product is equal to df by dx into dg by dx, ऐसा भी तो कोई expect कर सकते थे ना तुम?
हाँ.
So why is this wrong and why is this right? That is a question that you should have, right?
यस सर.
समझ में आ रहा है मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ?
यस सर.
So for example, इसका proof भी है. I will show you the proof. All the proofs for anything in derivatives is going to be by limits. Limits method से ही proof हो सकता है, ठीक है? तो because what is the meaning of a derivative? Derivative is actually a limit only, right?
यस सर.
So we know this is the definition of a derivative. So now what we will try to do is find the derivative of a product of two functions, fx into gx, right?
यस सर.
But now we are not going to assume that the rule that we saw just now is correct. We are going to prove it, right?
या.
So prove करने के लिए हम लोग को let's call this function as p of x. We are differentiating a function p of x, which is actually the product of two functions, right?
Yeah.
So what will be the derivative of p of x according to the limit definition?
P of limit h tends to 0, P of x plus h minus px by h.
Or because we have defined p of x to be product of these two, ये p of x plus h को लिख सकते हैं ना कुछ, इसको लिख सकते हैं f of x plus h times g of x
F of
plus h
px plus.
माइनस p of x को लिख सकते हैं fx gx, राइट?
Yes, sir.
ये समझ में आ रहा है ना स्टेप?
Yes, sir.
Now at this stage what I will do is a trick. It's a very important trick, so you should see what happens. The numerator part I will add and subtract something. Okay, so I will subtract f of x times g of x plus h. This term was not there earlier, right?
Yeah.
तो इसको subtract किया तो इसको add भी करना पड़ेगा, right?
Yes, sir.
And the last term is anyway the same as before. So basically I have added two more terms, but the effect is it is the same thing as before, right?
Yeah.
Now what is the purpose of adding it? Now we can see one thing. In the first two terms here we can take common, right? You can take g of x plus h common, no?
Yes, sir.
So let's take that common. G of x plus h common. You have f of x plus h
Minus
minus
f.
f of x, right?
Yes, sir.
And in the second two terms, we can take f of x common. And you'll get g of x plus h minus g of x, right?
Yeah.
And whole thing is divided by h, and the limit is h tends to 0, right?
Yes, sir.
Now what we will use is the second rule, which was no, not second rule. We'll just basically split the fraction into two separate fractions, right?
Yeah.
इसको दो parts में divide कर लेंगे. G of x plus h times f of x plus h minus f of x by h plus f of x times g of x plus h minus g of x by h, and whole thing is limit h tends to 0, right?
Yeah.
Can you see now if you do this as two separate limits, इसमें लिमिट लेना है और इसमें लिमिट लेना है, राइट? h tends to 0, राइट? तो ये तो लिमिट h tends to 0, ये पार्ट क्या होगा?
dy by dx.
f, no, df by dx, right?
df by dx. df by.
Derivative of f, right?
Yes, sir.
So put limit h tends to 0 in the first term. Notice that this part will become what? Gx, right?
Yeah.
And this is d of f by dx
Yes, sir.
plus what is this part?
dg by dx.
And with it is f of x, right?
Yeah.
So now we have proved our statement basically. Do you
Yes,
understand that proof has come?
sir. Yeah.
So the proof actually is the limit method, you have to prove it. But obviously when you do questions, we need to find the derivative quickly. So we don't need to do the limit method all the time, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we are learning the rules. So third rule is basically product rule. D by dx of f and g is equal to f dash g plus g dash f. Here f dash and g dash means derivative of f with respect to x and with respect to g, right?
Yeah.
Next one is quotient rule. But before that, I will show you what is chain rule. Before quotient rule, we'll do chain rule. And chain rule is a very important rule. So first of all, you need to understand what is a composition of functions. Composition of functions. So what I mean by composition is if there is a function like f of g of x, right? Have you seen this before? F of g of x, aisa?
Yes, sir.
So basically the idea is that there is a machine called G in which input is given X. The output of G is G of X, but the output is not left as it is. It is sent as input to the F machine, right?
Yes, sir.
The output of G goes as input to the F machine, and then you get the final answer F of G of X, right?
Yeah.
So basically, it's two functions in a sequence, right?
Yes, sir.
I hope you are understanding what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so an example of this would be, for example, y is equal to sine of x square, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
what is happening here is you are taking an x that is being given as input to the g function, which is x square, right? And that output of x square is going to the f function, which is sine x. And finally, you will get sine of x square, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand how there are two functions involved here?
Yes, sir.
One function is the x square function and one function is the sine function, right?
Yeah.
So the question is for us, how can we differentiate a function like this? Y is equal to sine of x square. Because technically it is combination of two functions, right?
Yeah.
So the rule, the chain rule says, when I have to differentiate this overall composition function, what I will do is first you will keep gx as it is without thinking about gx so much. You will differentiate the outer function. Okay. So
Okay.
we will differentiate the outer function f. So f dash of, you will keep the gx untouched. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And after that, you will multiply it with the derivative of the inner function. समझ में आ रहा है?
Ah, sir.
So the derivative of the composite function will be, you first differentiate the outer function, don't touch the inner function, just do f dash of g of x. Then multiply with the derivative of the inner function, right?
Yeah.
So इस केस में for example कैसे करेंगे कि dy by dx would be, first do the derivative of sine, right? So sine
Cos.
derivative is cos, and we keep the inner thing untouched, right?
Yeah.
And then you differentiate the inner thing, which is 2x, right?
Yes, sir.
So the answer is 2 cos 2x cos x square. That is the answer. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for example, it could have been more complicated. It could have been sine of, it could be x square cos x. देखो, this is much more complicated, right? There are three functions. Sine is also there, x square is also there, cos x is also there, right? But the
Yes, sir.
method to differentiate is very simple. Always first do the outer function without worrying about the inner stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what is that? Cos x
X squared
square cos x, right? And
multiply.
then we have to multiply with the derivative of this inner, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
this will be by product rule, no?
Yeah.
तो बताओ derivative inner function.
Minus sin x x square plus cos x 2x.
That is your final answer. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
समझ में आ रहा है chain rule?
Yes, sir.
Now another example, y is equal to sin x multiplied by 1 by x, right?
Yeah.
इसको डिफरेंशिएट करके बताओ कैसे करोगे? प्रोडक्ट रूल से कर सकते हैं ना? Actually,
Ah.
before this, I want to do another one. 1 second. Y is equal to 1 by x square plus 2. इसको डिफरेंशिएट करके बताओ. Right now, all you know is product rule and chain rule. You don't know anything else, okay? You cannot use quotient rule right now. So technically you have to think of this as x squared plus 2 to the power minus 1, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you see that it is chain rule?
Yeah.
There is an outer function of something power minus 1 and there is an inner function of this, right?
Yes, sir.
So बताओ डेरिवेटिव कैसे करोगे? चेन रूल से करो.
Sir,
आउटर फंक्शन का हाँ
minus 2x by x square plus 2 whole square.
ऐसे, right?
हाँ.
First we do the power rule, right?
Yeah.
And then we differentiate the inside stuff, right? So this
Yes,
becomes
sir.
minus 2x by x square plus 2 whole square, correct?
Yeah.
Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So now that you know how we did this, quotient rule should be obvious to you because what we will do is quotient rule is fx by gx, right?
Yeah.
Think of it as fx times gx power minus 1, right?
Yeah.
So derivative of this, we'll apply two rules. We'll apply product rule and we'll apply chain rule. Okay.
Yeah.
So देखो product rule के हिसाब से first we'll differentiate this dfx by dx and keep the second one as it is. And then we'll keep the first one as it is and we have to differentiate this, right?
Yeah.
And this is itself chain rule, no?
Yes, sir.
So minus 1 gx to the power minus 2 and then derivative of g, right?
Yeah.
So देखो ये क्या आ रहा है f dash by g plus f by g square minus 1 times g dash, right?
Yeah.
So basically it is f dash by g minus f g dash by g square, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is f dash g minus f g dash by g square,
Yeah.
which is quotient rule.
Okay.
So basically quotient rule says differentiate the numerator first, multiply it with the denominator, minus differentiation of the denominator multiplied with the numerator and divided by denominator square. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So you should remember quotient rule directly, but you should also realize that you don't need to remember it because it is coming by product rule plus chain rule.
Yeah.
Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these rules of differentiation are more or less what you need. After this, it's about knowing some standard derivatives like y is equal to sine x, y is equal to cos x, y is equal to tan x, also e power x, a power x, y is equal to x power n, right?
Yeah.
Any other things that were there in the table or anything else? I don't think so. इसके
Sir, sec x and cosec x also.
हाँ sec x और cosec x को remember कर सकते हो but not necessary because you can always find it.
Yeah.
We can always find it, no? Because sec x is 1 by cos x, right?
Yes, sir.
1 by cos x को आप chain rule से differentiate कर सकते हो ना?
Cos x to the power minus.
इसको differentiate अगर करना होगा तो ऐसे करेंगे minus 1 cos x to the power minus 2 and then derivative of cos x, right?
Sin x.
So minus
Minus.
sin x. So this
Minus
will
x.
become sin x by cos square x, right?
Yeah.
So this is sin x by cos x multiplied by 1 by cos x, right? So this
Tan
is
x.
sec x tan x.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying don't try to memorize it right now. Maybe in 11th and 12th you will already memorize it. You don't have to memorize it right now because you can do it, right?
Yeah.
Cosec x is 1 by sin x, cot x is 1 by tan x. You can do the same thing if you know these, right?
Yes, sir.
So just know these. So y dash is minus sin x. Y dash here is secant square x, right?
Yeah.
Y dash here is e power x only. Y dash here, a is a constant other than e. It is a power x log a.
Yeah.
And here the logarithm is to the base e. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is y dash is n x power n minus 1. Right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know the meaning of the word e and all?
Yeah, E is an irrational constant.
Irrational constant. One thing I need to you to know a little bit about e. You need to know. So, for example, do you know binomial theorem? No, right?
No,
नहीं
sir.
नहीं पता है ठीक है. Uh, see, you need to know a little bit of binomial theorem also. So basically, it's like x plus y power n. Okay,
Okay.
x plus y power n को कैसे expand करेंगे, right?
Yeah.
So the way to expand it is basically, you know, it is just a multiplication of these, right?
Yeah.
N times, right?
Yeah.
So the way to expand it is you can construct something called the Pascal's triangle. Have you heard of this before?
Yes, sir.
कब सीखा है ये?
Last to last week.
कहाँ पे पढ़ा था ये?
Fiji.
Okay. So you start off with 1, then you put 1 and 1 below it, right? And after that, every time you'll put the sum of these two as 2, right?
Yeah.
And sum of these two is 3. Sum of these two is 3. Sum of these two is 4, 6, 4. And the starting point and ending point of every row is 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Now, this triangle can be, you can keep making more and more rows, right?
Yeah.
So you will realize that every row of this triangle corresponds to one particular series. Like this is x plus y power 0. This is the first row. X plus y power 0 is 1, right?
Yeah.
And now the second row is x plus y power 1. X plus y power 1 is x plus y only, right?
Yes, sir.
So the numbers in the triangle represent the coefficients that come in the expansion. Okay. So notice that the coefficient is 1 and 1, right?
Yeah.
X plus y whole square is this third row, this one. Coefficients would be x square plus 2xy plus y square, right?
Yeah.
So notice it is 1, 2, 1, right?
Yes, sir.
X plus y whole cube also, you know the expansion, right? It is x
Yeah.
cube plus y cube plus 3x square y plus
This.
3xy square plus y cube, right?
Yeah.
So it is 1, 3, 3, 1. And notice that the terms are always written in decreasing powers of x and increasing powers of y. Okay.
Yes, sir.
When you write the terms properly, you have to write it as x power highest power, then second highest power, then lower power, then lowest power, right?
Yeah.
So from here, you can predict that x plus y power 4 would be x power 4 plus x
4x.
cube y. I will put the coefficient from here, you will say 4, right?
Yeah.
Plus, then you will say it will be 6 x square y square plus
Yeah.
4 x y cube plus 1 y power 4. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So that is a way to write the expansion of x plus y power n, which is your binomial theorem. Now, this binomial theorem expression, x plus y power n is x power n plus n x power n minus 1 into y plus n into n minus 1 by 1 into 2 x power n minus 2 into y square and so on. You can check that these are the terms that will come, whatever n you put. Okay.
Okay.
Right now, I have not told you how these expressions are coming, but for now, you have to believe me, or you can check from Pascal's triangle whether it is correct or not, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I'm telling you all this is because E comes from here only. So for example, if I had an expansion of 1 plus x power n, right?
Yeah.
So 1 plus x power n क्या होगा? X के जगह पे 1 है. So it will be 1 plus n x, right? Plus n into n minus 1 by 1 into 2 x square, right? देखो,
Yeah.
next term would have been, this would have come as the next term, x cube and so on. Okay.
Yeah.
And now what we will do is in place of n, I will put, first of all, you have to convince yourself that this formula is correct. Just convince yourself by putting 1 plus x n is equal to 2, right?
Okay.
तो देखो क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, इधर 1 plus 2x plus 2 into 1 by 1 into 2, so x square, right? Plus देखो तो ये टर्म 2 डालोगे तो 0 हो जाएगा ना.
Yeah.
And after that, every other term will have n, n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3. That is the next term. So देखो वो भी 0 होगा ना.
हाँ.
तो बाकी टर्म 0 हो जाएंगे ना, because n minus 2 is a factor in everyone.
हाँ.
समझ में आ रहा है कि 1 plus x whole square का करेक्ट एक्सप्रेशन आ रहा है इससे.
हाँ.
अगर 3 डाल के देख लो, 1 plus x whole cube, ठीक है, 3 डाल के देखते हैं तो क्या आ रहा है, 1 plus 3x प्लस, देखो ये 3 into 2 by 1 into 2, राइट?
हाँ.
तो
3.
क्या हो रहा है, 3x square. When you put 3 here, what will come? 3 into 2 into 1 by 1 into 2 into 3, right?
1.
So x cube. Fourth term में 3 डालो, देखो, it will vanish.
हाँ.
और उसके बाद सारे टर्म्स में n minus 3 is a factor, okay? So all the other terms will vanish, right?
Yes.
Do you believe now that this is correct?
Yeah.
So now that we have this, actually what we will do is we'll extend binomial theorem, not just for integer n, okay? So binomial theorem का जो ये expression I have written, right? This expression is valid even for fractional n, okay? So what we will say is, whatever is the n, we can use this expression, okay? Positive,
Okay.
negative, कुछ भी, fractions भी, okay?
Okay, sir.
So if we can use this expression, now what I want you to do is think about what will happen if I do 1 plus x to the power 1 by x, okay?
Okay.
तो n के जगह
1.
पे क्या डालेंगे?
1 by x.
So 1 by x times x plus 1 by x minus 1 times x square by 1 into 2 plus 1 by x minus 1 by x minus 2 by 1 into 2 into 3 x cube and so on, right?
Yeah.
इसको थोड़ा सा सिंप्लीफाई करते हैं. A little bit of simplification for this. So what will happen here is, देखो ये term is 1 only, right?
Yeah.
1 plus 1, and x square, you can multiply 1x with this and 1x with this, right?
Yeah.
You will get x
1
minus
minus
1.
1.
देखो 1 minus x, I'm wrong, 1 minus x आएगा ऊपर में by 1 into 2, right?
हाँ.
थर्ड टर्म में क्या आएगा, x इससे कैंसिल हो जाएगा, एक इससे आएगा, तो 1 minus x multiplied by 1 minus 2x, right?
हाँ.
करेक्ट?
Yes, sir.
ऐसे करके आ रहा है ना सीरीज. And this is equal to 1 plus x to the power 1 by x, right?
Yes, sir.
And now what I want you to think is limit of x tends to 0 of 1 plus x to the power 1 by x. Okay.
Okay.
So first of all, think about this expression on its own. Don't worry about what happens on the other side. Think about this expression on its own. It is, x is a small number, right? Close to 0, right?
Yeah.
So close to 0, so that means it is 1 plus something small, right?
Yeah.
So it might be like 1.001 or something, right?
Yes, sir.
And whole to the power, but 1 by x will be a big number, right?
Yeah.
Something big like 1000 or bigger than that if x is small, right?
Yeah.
So you understand that this number, this limit will not be equal to 1
Yes.
because it would have been equal to 1 if x was exactly 0, right?
Yes, sir.
If x was exactly 0, then the inside term is 1 and 1 power anything is 1 only, right?
Yes.
But limit is x tends to 0. That doesn't mean x is exactly equal to 0, right?
Yeah.
It means x is close to 0. So, but it is close. That means it could be above 0, right?
Yeah.
So that means 1 plus something small, but it is raised to a very high power, right?
Yeah.
So this limit is right now unknown, but it is definitely bigger than 1, right?
Yeah.
And now we have a way to find the limit by using the binomial expression that we have written, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is easy to put x tends to 0 in this expression. Do you realize that?
Yes, sir.
So it will be 1 plus 1 plus c here, 1 by 1 into 2 plus 1 by 1 into 2 into 3 plus 1 by 1 in next term would have been this and so on. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can evaluate this to whatever number of terms you want. You will realize that see 4 terms ke baad hi it is coming 2.7 or something. देखो
Oh.
2 plus half 2.5 तो यहीं पे हो गया ना.
हाँ.
1 by 6 is 0.16, right?
हाँ.
So 2.66 almost here only, right?
Yes, sir.
Plus this is 1 by 24. So it is almost 0.04 or something, 0.05, something like that.
हाँ.
1 by 24 is roughly like 4 by 100. So 0.04, right?
Yes, sir.
So after 5 terms, it is already 2.7, right?
Yeah.
If you keep taking terms, more and more terms in this series, right? You will come up closer and closer, but you realize that the terms are becoming smaller, right?
Yeah.
The terms will become very small and it will not become much more now. And it will be close to this number, 2.71828 and so on. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
This number is called E. And basically, we have derived that E is the limit of x tends to 0, 1 plus x to the power 1 by x. And how did we derive it? We derived it by binomial expansion of this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Later, we will learn much more. But for now, this is enough. And we have basically figured out e power 1 is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1 by 1 into 2 plus 1 by 1 into 2 into 3 plus 1 by 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 and so on, right?
Yes, sir.
Later, we will learn how to write the expansion of e power x. That also has an expansion and it is given by this 1 plus x power 1 by 1 factorial plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial. This is, by the way, 2 factorial, 3 factorial, 4 factorial, and so on.
Yeah.
And this is 1 plus 1 by 1 factorial. Okay. So basically, instead of this 1, which is actually x power 0, instead of x power 0, if you put x power 1, you will get this series.
Okay.
So we will come to all this when we do a little more calculus, but I just wanted to tell you this because E will come many places. You should not be confused about what that is. E is an
Yeah.
irrational number, which is the limit of this expression. Okay.
Okay.
When limit x tends to 0, 1 plus x to the power 1 by x. Okay.
Yes.
Fine. So what you need to do is derivatives exercise. Derivatives exercise from NCERT. Practice some derivatives. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, have you seen NCERT book? Is there any chapter on basic integration in 11th grade book? No.
Let me check, sir.
Hmm. See if there is any chapter on integration.
No, sir, it's in 12th.
So the first chapter of integration, that chapter, if it is in 12th, then you need to read from the 12th book. That chapter on integration, you need to start reading. Okay.
Okay.
Just read the NCERT book. Don't worry about the questions and all. Make sure that you try to understand what they are trying to explain. Okay.
Okay.
What is important is understanding the theory, not how to do integrals and all. That's not the point right now. Okay. So
Okay.
try to understand the theory, underline if there is something that is a problem. What we'll be starting tomorrow onwards is integration basics. We'll discuss the theory.
Okay, sir.
So tomorrow's class will be about integration. Friday's class will be about a little bit some of the types of integrations. So 2 classes should be enough. Then we will pause the maths part and we'll go on to physics after that. Okay.
Okay.
So we need to know basics of differentiation and integration. Only then we can do physics confidently. So make sure that you start reading that 12th grade NCERT chapter. Okay.
Okay.
So tomorrow we'll discuss that only. And keep practicing the derivatives exercise. I will not be asking you for homework and all there, but you need to get better with derivatives and very comfortable with it. Okay. So that
Okay.
is your responsibility. You have to decide how much you can do and what you can do. If there is any doubt, any question that you cannot do, mark it and you can ask me in class later.
Okay,
But
sir.
make sure you don't forget everything we have learned, right? That's the most important thing. So
Yeah.
how to not forget? By practicing questions. So what I want you to do is limits, derivatives, integrals. These chapters from NCERT only, nowhere else. You can just work through the exercises.
Okay.
Once you are done with derivatives and integrals, you can also do the other calculus chapters. There are other calculus chapters like maxima, minima, application of derivatives, and so on, right?
Yeah.
But those are secondary. Right now, the focus is this week on integrals. Okay.
Okay, sir.
I will think about your maths plan and we can do some classes for maths also. But I will talk to your dad about it and we can discuss it finally and decide. Maybe in a few days we'll decide. Okay.
Okay.
But for now, I think this is enough. Just work on reading and understanding the textbook, what is given in integrals chapter, and we'll discuss it tomorrow's class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Fine. That's all for now then.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.